Hello, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be talking a bit about my epic battles British Army I've been painting. As you can see, I've got some models out there. So what I've done, some of the decisions I've made, and a wee spot about painting. I'll do more stuff about painting later on. But as you can see, standard British line infantry here. I am doing the 4 bases, but I don't need to show off all 4 bases for showing it off. These obviously aren't finished. In terms of painting the figures themselves, they're done. I've got to do basing and flags. I primarily focused on the French, and there's a lot more French painted, as you'll see. But I've filled a couple of really useful boxes of British so far. So as you can see here, really nice figures. What I've been doing is basically putting down the spraying them off-white, red jackets, bit of grey, going around with some black, doing the brown, bit of silver for the guns, throwing a shade over, picking out a bit of highlights, and then doing the white cross belt. I use an off-white palette rich flesh. So around the back there, you can see. So yeah, standard British. These with some white trousers. I've really enjoyed painting them, but in epic battles a lot of work involved with painting them, mainly because of all the cross belts and stuff. So actually, it's been really nice getting back to American Civil War and paint shop where there's less cross belt and lacing and stuff. Some different regiments there. See where I've painted the plume colours based on where they are. So obviously green would be the light infantry detachments, companies in the battalions. And also picking out the cuff colours facings just to help break them up on the tabletop and do a bit different. So that's the British infantry. With the British infantry also get rifles. So I've done some spruce rifles. These actually, you can see, they look a bit the undercoat hadn't taken quite well on them. From a distance you can't really see it, but as I've zoomed in, you can kind of see the sort of rough texture of the undercoat there. I happened a bit with some cavalry as well, even though I'd washed the sprues. I don't know, there's something not quite right, maybe some release agents or something on the sprues. But anyway, there's my light infantry. So a few units of those. Now with the light infantry, I've also mounted some. I've gone individual bases so they can really skirmish out there. Face off against the French skirmishers. And that means I can take different formations with them. So next up comes some of the British allies. So I've done a Brunswicker contingent, if you've seen the cavalry. I will work on Nassau. Essentially, when I was painting this project up, I was painting it for a big Waterloo refight battle. And we worked out the commands, and one of the members of the club was doing the Dutch Belgians already, so I didn't have to worry about doing some Dutch Belgians, but I did do quite a large Brunswicker detachment force. And it was really good seeing massive tables, over 24 foot worth of tables with various configurations and depth and stuff. And it's quite good seeing the sort of divisions and corps moving and manoeuvring into each other rather than starting, say, 24, 36 away and just battering at it. So these are my Brunswickers. Now, I've actually used French infantry for this, and this was just a lot of black with a bit of highlighting, pick out the woods. By this point in the project, I wasn't really doing too much with the backpacks. You see with the British, as I started off, I've picked out all the straps on the backpacks. By this part of the project, I'm like, what needs doing? What have I shortened my painting down to? There's a lot of stuff to paint, and I'll talk about that in another paint video. But as you see there, with the different units of the Brunswickers with the different facings, so yellow, orange, red. Now, the thing I've been doing with my light infantry units, so light infantry units I've been modelling like this, so the skirmishers are sort of like in the front row. And again, this is so when we're fighting mass battles on the tabletop, we can easily see what has light infantry rules and what doesn't have light infantry rules. You'll see that more with the French as well. And again, I've done some individual skirmish bases for the Brunswickers as well. I think the black uniforms can be really dull, but once you add those colourful facings to them, it really makes the model stand out. Now, other British allies, I've done some Nassau. Again, French uniforms, really nice colourful models there. As you can see, I've used a bright green, black for the boots, yellow for facings there. Yeah, really nice uniform. There's quite a large Nassau contingent. Certainly when I fought the Waterloo, we played in 28mm. I was on the far right, and my opponent, he was Nassau, so it was an army I got to fight against lots. So there's my Nassau troops. Probably want to do some Nassau skirmishes for the Hougoumont complex. Now, this is something I spent a bit of time on. Obviously, if you've watched the channel before, you'll realise I'm from Scotland. So I've spent a bit of time with these Highlanders. Obviously, the red jackets and piping the same as the regular British. Spent a bit of time with the kilts, highlighted and shaded the kilts, and then painted on those yellow stripes and white and red on the bonnets. Probably only going to do a maximum of 2 of the Highland units. You see there where I've even done the crosses on the socks. I always take a bit of time with my Highland units. And I've not got round to painting many officers yet for my British, but this is one of the officers painted. And finally, because I've totally forgot to mention it in the cavalry segment, because I haven't finished them, let's run off some conversions. So these are French, they're originally French cavalry, but I've modelled them with these hats on so they can be Belgian or Dutch, forget which one now, carbineers. So heavy cavalry for those guys. Just a simple snip off and change of the heads there. Relatively easy to do. But anyway, that is my British Army. Well, not the British Army as a whole, but the British Army, which I've been working on in a bit of detail. I will do a bigger picture shot of the whole army together. But anyway, I hope you're having a great time with your hobby at the moment, and I look forward to chatting to you about it in the future. And have a great day. Okay, bye bye.